Get my presentation going. Now, I'm not a perfect presentation builder, so it's going to be, a little hodgepodge here, but so yes, my herbal life, guys. There on the left-hand side is my father, Chairman's Club member, who I'm going to talk about in a little bit, John Tartle, and there he's holding me, little Herbalife baby, and it says John Tartle, another Herbalife baby, because my sister was born prior. And then there's me with Mark Hughes and his son. I've got a lot of fond memories from him and philosophy, and then just you can just kind of see me as I'm getting a little older in the photos. So this is where the journey started for my family with Herbalife. Okay, on the left-hand side, you'll see my mom, Lori Tartle. She answered a little "Be Your Own Boss" ad in 1981. She went down to the Herbalife office when it was nothing. It was just this little company in a funky old wig factory. And she saw two things. She saw a product that worked, and she saw people earning money. And she said, I think this is something that I can do. So Lori went home and borrowed money from her boyfriend at the time, my dad, to sign up as a distributor. And then she got him on the product with the aloe. The aloe got him a good result. He came to the meeting. He understood the numbers. He understood the marketing plan real quick, and he saw an opportunity. And then my dad, he took this thing around the world. So it's pretty amazing. So my mom barely graduated high school. What other company in the world would have taken her seriously and give her an opportunity like this? Well, Herbalife did, because Herbalife doesn't care about our background. They don't care about our degrees. They don't care much about anything in your past as long as you're willing to work and be teachable. So they got started. Then what happened? The aunts and the uncles joined. Top right-hand corner. You see Chairman's Club member Mary Holloway when she was younger, Nancy and Jim Tartle, who are now Four Diamonds. Then both grandparents on both sides joined up. Okay. They became press team in their late 60s. So it's never too late. And that's how the Herbalife journey started for the family back in 81. Now we fast forward to today. Today, the whole family is still together because of the Herbalife business. I firmly believe that our family is so close because we have the business connection. And that is such a blessing. These to my father and mother there, okay? And then my Aunt Mary Holloway with her two sons, President's team member Jake Holloway, Kevin Holloway, World team member, super involved in the business. Jake's kids, was that a fourth generation people? My Aunt Nancy, Zach Tartle there, my cousin on the bottom corner, Alexandra, global expansion team member, my younger brother in the blue there, okay? World team runs two nutrition clubs up in Montana. My sister Jessica is my father's right-hand man a lot of the time, helping him out. So it's a family business for us. Herbalife is a family business, and it's such a blessing. So Mark Hughes, our founder. So some of the things that I remember from Mark is that even as a kid, you always wanted to be around this guy. Even as a kid, I remember one time I was at Mark's house playing with his son, and Mark calls and asks to talk to Alex, his son. And I'm just sitting there patiently waiting. Then all of a sudden he turns to me, he goes, "Oh, my dad wants to talk to you." And even as a little kid, I remember getting like so proud, like, "Oh, Mark Hughes wants to talk to me. Oh my God. Okay." And I remember talking to him. And that's one of the fondest memories I have as a child. And I don't think it was because he was the founder of Herbalife and, my parents' boss, because he wasn't anybody's boss. But it was just because I remember just seeing him and he had that energy. And then I also remember just how humble and nice he was to everybody that he would talk to. And he was always just so well polished and groomed, and he had a vision like no tomorrow. And I remember another quick story from my childhood is I'll never forget when my cousin Jake, he called me up one time and He goes, guess what? I said, what? He goes, Mark Hughes came to my house and he rode in the go-kart with me. Oh, I got so jealous. I got so jealous that Mark went to Jake's house and they got to ride in the go-kart. But it was just the effect he had. Like even as kids, we just knew that this guy was something special and you wanted to be around him. And I think he really instilled that in Herbalife and in the philosophy of Herbalife. I mean, I grew up around people with a lot of money. So I grew up in Malibu, California. So I grew up around a lot of these people, and I've noticed a difference between those kind of people and people with a lot of money in Herbalife. And generally, the Herbalife people are a lot more accessible. They're a lot nicer. They're just a lot more approachable. And I believe it's part of the Mark Hughes philosophy. Because, Mark Hughes was not some college grad with some degrees and all this stuff. No, he came from a rough life, but he wanted to change the nutritional habits of the world, not just the United States, not just the great state of Texas where I live now or Dallas, not just the city you guys live in, but the world. And that's the other thing I want you guys to think about tonight is we have a worldwide business in 90 countries. So Jim Rohn, our Herbalife mentor. You can see my mom over there on the right. I think she's gushing, got a little blush on her face for Jim there. Maybe she had a crush. But Jim Rohn, I met him once when I was really young. I didn't realize who I was meeting. So I don't remember much, but there is this phrase, for things to change, we have to change. For things, ooh, for everything to get better, we have to, well, it's for things to get better, we have to get better. This phrase has always stuck with me. This is something my father would always tell me when I would mess up growing up. And he would also tell me if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So Jim Rohn is one of the best mentors I think any Herbalife person can have. On YouTube, any of his books, he is the deal. Because he went around with Mark Hughes and he trained the distributors all over the world. And I remember I was fortunate enough to be in attendance at his last extravaganza. He zoomed in and was on the screen in his hospital bed talking to the Herbalife distributors. I remember that. And I was so fortunate to see that. And you could just see the love he had for Herbalife and the Herbalife distributors. It was amazing. I will never forget that. There's a great YouTube video. I think it's basically Jim Rohn's last Herbalife speech. Watch the first 10 minutes. It's very amazing. Then my own journey. What is my journey? What did I learn? All these things. You can see I've evolved over time. I did enjoy the left-hand side when my hair was past my shoulders and I was this surf ski bum. And I tried to put as many photos as I can in chronological order and how I learned things, but it's been a while, so you're just gonna have to bear with me. But what I want to do touch is on the middle photo there with me in the Herbalife corporate office. So when I first started my journey, I was on my way to law school to become a lawyer because I thought that was what I wanted to do. I want to earn a good income because income gives me options. But then I thought of my life as a lawyer and I thought of my life in Herbalife. And the biggest thing that stood out to me is because I always went to meetings as a kid, as a teenager, college kid, I always went to meetings. And every time I left the meeting, I was happy. I was happy. And that stuck out to me. And I said, you know what? I want to be happy. I want to be around positive people. And every time I was at an Herbalife meeting, it was fun and positive. So that's okay. That's what I'm gonna do. And I remember walking into my dad's office, thinking, okay, dad and I are gonna go hand in hand every single day. We're gonna go out together and do Herbalife. And he taught me a very valuable lesson. It's independent distributor, JD. I remember going up to him and saying, okay, dad, ready to go. Let's do this. He goes, great. Go find a meeting. I said, wait, what do you mean go find a meeting? It's like, yeah, you need to go find a meeting and learn. I said, okay. And he gave me a phone number to a woman that I'm going to talk about. I called her up and I found a meeting. And, some things happened, but in this Herbalife corporate office was one of the times I like to say that I was an Herbalife orphan. And what I did was that at that moment in my business, I had nowhere to meet people, no office, no nothing. So what I did is I met people at Starbucks. Great. Starbucks would be my office because I remember my dad telling me as a kid when he moved to France to open up Europe, he would go to a restaurant and tip a bartender, and that's where he would meet people. So I said, okay, I'm gonna go Starbucks. There was a Starbucks at the bottom of the Herbalife corporate world headquarters. So I was like, okay, I'm an independent, smart, savvy distributor. I'm going to use that office to my advantage. So I would have people meet me at the Starbucks. I would quickly qualify them. Everybody qualified to visit the lobby. Okay. We would go up the elevator and we would go into the Herbalife corporate world headquarters lobby. And I would use the lobby to do an HOM because in that lobby, they have like the chairman's club wall, they got the pins and the products. And I would do this so much, the corporate employees got to know me. The security of Herbalife got to know me because I would be going there so much, bringing up random people. They loved it. Now, the security of the building hated it. And at one point, they called up Herbalife. They're like, who is this guy bringing up these random people into the building? And they're like, oh, he's one of our distributors. No, no, it's okay. And the security of the building said, no, this is not okay. You need to tell him now he needs to phone in and give us the list of everybody's name that he's going to take up to the building because he's taking too many people into the building. And so they told me that. I remember the security lady called me. She said, look, I said, look, no problem. So I did it. I would phone in, I would tell the security people, and eventually they got so mad, they said, you know what? He's done. No, this can't happen anymore. I don't care. So that didn't last too long, but I got some distributors out of it and had a lot of fun. I had to figure it out. So that's just a fun part of my business that I like to share. So, millionaire team member Karen Feiger. This was the woman that I called when my dad said, figure out the business, go find a meeting. Karen taught me how to do an Herbalife opportunity meeting. She taught me how to do chairs, how to do setup, how to do the meeting, how to do the most awkward thing. Those of you on the line might remember when we did Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, we would spend 10 or 15 minutes just interacting with the guests. You know, we all learned FOIL, like family, occupation, interest, and some acronym to just talk to people. So I learned a lot of my basics from Karen, and I've kept those basics my entire career now in Herbalife. I know how to set up a meeting A to Z. I learned it there, and I went and I figured it out. And then, you know, at this time in my business, I was just the sports guy. I would go around, do stuff, and sell the product here and there, and make just enough money to be able to live the way I did. And this was a fun time in the business, and this really taught me how to talk to people. And I remember to always carry product on me. And I'll never forget one time, the first time I learned this lesson is I was on a ski lift talking to a guy, and we got to talking, and he wanted to lose weight. I said, okay, well, I got something for you, blah, 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 blah. We went down to my truck that was in the parking lot, and I sold him product out of my truck. I said, oh my gosh, it works. That's where I learned how to have an inventory if you can. Because when people can touch and feel the product, they generally want it. Shlomo, this guy, he taught me how to have strength in Herbalife. In our business, we need to be strong. Okay. Shlomo taught me strength. He was one of the first presidency members I ever learned from. And it was down when I went to go, the first meetings I ever went to took me about 1 to 2 hours to get to one way. And I went for a long time to learn. And he was one of the head pres teams. And, Shlomo had this knack for making almost every woman in the training cry because he was so blunt and serious with them. But he was right. He would say, he's like, I don't want to hear anyone complaining. You're not doing the invites. You don't have new people in the meeting. I don't see you bringing new guests. I don't want to hear it. And he was right. He was hard, but he was nice. But he taught me how to have strength. He taught me that we need to have strength for ourselves and for our distributors. Because if we're weak with ourselves, we're going to be weak with our distributors. And if we're weak with our distributors, then we're going to have a weak business. And that's not something I wanted. So I learned strength from Slomo in our business. Then Dennis Dowdell, a lot of you guys know who this guy is. This guy taught me goal setting, the importance of writing them down and following up in our business. And this is a long time ago, but I remember I emailed him my goals, and then like 2 years later, I did a follow-up. Some of the goals I checked off. A lot of these I've checked off completely now, but he taught me that valuable skill. Are you writing your goals? And are you following up? And another valuable thing about goal setting, especially in Herbalife guys, is I've seen a lot of people leave our business because they made the goal so big that they felt okay for not hitting it. And meaning you're a world team member and you're talking about press team, and you never talk about, okay, active world team, global expansion team, get 2.5 mil. You don't talk about this in between. You just talk about pres team. So if you don't hit it in a year, if you don't hit it in 2 years, if you don't hit it in 3 years or next month, you're going to feel okay about it because the goal is so big. Obviously, the goal is presence team. And obviously, presence team, the goal is 15, 20, 30, 40, 50K, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 diamonds, founders, all that stuff. But there's things in between. Then in between, there's actions that need to be taken. How do you break the goal down into daily actions? How do you break the goal down into marketing plan steps? Super important. I've seen too many people leave the business because the goal was so big that they never hit it and felt okay. So Dennis taught me goal setting. So these are some older photos when I was an Herbalife orphan, I like to say, on the left-hand side. I would just, at a time, I joined Shlomo's office there in West Hills because I had nowhere else to go. And it was real fun. I learned how to work with a lot of sidelines guys, because my direct upline, he was working all the time, but he was just a different phase of his business to where my dad did not have a personal office or something I could plug into. So what did I do? I went through the Herbalife world and I found people to work with, to go learn from. Then on the right hand side there is the first personal location that I opened up. We opened up a spot in Tarzana, California. We had a lot of fun out of there. Did a lot of meetings, a lot of good stuff. I learned a lot of valuable lessons out of that office. And I learned by doing. Lots of people assumed that I would know how to do this business because, you grew up around it, you're going to know it, No, I had to go out and figure this business for myself. How is it going to work for me? How is it going to work for me? And what that taught me too is that my distributors, it's the same thing. How's it going to work for them? How's it going to work for them? That's a very key thing because not all of your distributors, a lot of them will do exactly what you do and step by step. Yes, but some of them, they're not going to do the same things that you do. And you got to know how's the business going to work for them. You've also got to give them space to make the business work for them. Because at the end of the day, if I have a distributor that never listens to me, but they do 10,000 volume points a month and get new supervisors, great. Great. No problem. But then I do want distributors who will listen and go through the trainings and do the step-by-steps and follow direction because we have a plan for success. So it's a balance. And I learned the balance here. I also learned the art of promotion. On the upper right-hand side there was the first time I ever ran a team promotion. And it worked. I was like, oh my God, this does work. Obviously, promotions work. I grew up around the business my whole life seeing it work. But when I did it, I said, oh my God, it worked. And we all went out and we had fun at Magic Mountain. It was good times. Then founder circle, Alan Lorenz. This man taught me how to have fun in my business. He taught me you have to have fun. I'll never forget. I don't know how old I was. 12, 13, 14, I don't know. But we're at a meeting and Alan walks out on stage Alan doesn't just come out on stage like Alan Lorenz. No, he had like 30 cowgirls and cowgirl outfits dancing on stage introducing Alan Lorenz. But he was just having fun. Alan wanted to have fun. And Alan, before Herbalife, he already had money, but Herbalife was fun. So don't prejudge people because sometimes people are just bored. They want to have fun. And the last conversation I ever had with him, I'll never forget it. It was at honors. And when I was talking to him, he was just telling me to have fun. He was telling me to some distributors to talk to and like just how to have fun. So I'm always thankful for that. And I applied that in my business. This is just one example of a 4th of July thing. I'm sitting there in a tutu and a crop top, leading a workout of like 100 people. We had fun. We had fun in our business. We still do. We did dance classes, all this fun stuff because people are attracted to fun. We have to be serious. Like on the left-hand side, that was like one of the first like planning meetings I ever ran. Dad showed up. Heck yeah. That was fun. So it's always a balance. It's a balance of serious and fun, of serious and fun. Then Grandma Patton and Grandpa Patton. Okay. My grandfather, George Patton, joined the business 1982 with Grandma. Okay. Arguably, George Patton, we could say, is almost the founder of HBN, the Herbalife Broadcasting Network, because I heard a story a few times that he would like film my dad and then try and sell the tapes. And Mark Hughes said, no, you can't do that. And then corporate made their own or something. But, he was always brilliant with planning. And then my grandma, Dina Patton, just a very happy person. She always taught me just to be joyful in life and in business. Okay. And the crazy thing about Herbalife, guys, is that Herbalife is a generational business. Our marketing plan is amazingly powerful. Okay. I went out and I built my own business up to almost about get 2.5. And then my grandmother, growing up my whole life, would say, JD, one day I want you to run my Herbalife business. One day I want you to run my Herbalife business. And I said, okay, grandma, that's nice. I'm going to go do my own thing. I'm going to go do my own thing. Well, one day that day did come. And now I get to help continue what my grandparents did. And, some of that will blow your guys' mind. But guys, it's the marketing plan. It's the power of the Herbalife marketing plan. Now that I'm a father myself, it makes me feel comfortable for my daughter. It's like, wow, Mark Hughes' promise come to fruition. Pretty crazy. Shy Nafty. I love Shy. Shy, I like to say that Shy taught me heart in the Herbalife business. Strength, the man's Israeli, strong people. Okay. But he taught me heart in the Herbalife business. Still to this day, he does. We've had a lot of fun doing stuff together, but you got to have heart in Herbalife. It's important. Okay, I'm going to start going a little fast because we're going to get running low on time. Then what I also learned in my Herbalife business is how to be a doer, how to figure things out. There's many transitions I've had in my business and times. Okay. One time I had to change up a nutrition club location. I didn't really have the money to hire contractors, didn't really want to. So me and my buddy John Brown, we figured out how to tear down walls, lay down flooring, and build a bar. And at the time, people didn't really understand why I would do that. Said, why don't you hire somebody? I said, well, maybe we could, but then you know what? I think I need to learn these skills because the nutrition club is a big part of my business. So I need to learn the skills. And what that did is allowed me to move up to Montana and build a nutrition club. And we were able to build a beautiful storefront on arguably a very shoestring budget on the first one, but because of all that knowledge. Now, what that did is that inspired this mill team here. Bridget Cummings. She was stuck at World Team for a long time. This girl could retail 20,000 volume like nobody's business, but she could not build an organization. And then she saw what we were doing in Montana. And she moved to a new state, started up a club, and that club model helped her get to Millionaire Team. But I firmly believe that wouldn't have happened unless she was because it happened because of what I was doing. The business gods, as my dad would call it. The business gods are always watching. They're always watching. Okay, it's pretty crazy. Then when we opened up that spot, it was in the middle of COVID. We're not going to let that stop us. We got a no problem attitude in Herbalife. No problem. We put on the mask and we still did tea drops and we acted like nothing was happening because I was taught no problem. Figure it out. I'm an independent distributor. That's what I was taught. Now, I always had support, a phone call away from a phenomenal upline and my family and all these things. But at the end of the day, we are independent distributors. Okay. Then I don't want to spend too much on this, but my world turned upside down. I got a divorce with a 6-month-old baby. Tons of other things happened. Crazy. This is where life lessons from my father came in. 30K Chairman's Club member John Tartle. And I always like to joke, and I kind of figured this out when I became a dad. I said, there's dad and there's father. Dad, he's playing with you. He's nice. He's doing all the fun stuff. And then there's father. Father is there to be the protector, to be the strength, to be the wisdom. And I'm fortunate that I had both in my dad and my father. And this is where the father came out. And I was so thankful is that the strength that he showed me, and at times I was very mad. You don't understand what I'm going through. You don't, JD, I don't care. How many people did you talk to? But then I would step back and I go, he's right. He's right. Because when I would talk and I would get focused, I would be happier. And of course, he would understand. He's my dad and father, but he was strong with me. He would not allow me to wallow too long. It's like, yes, we're going to be sad, but now what are we going to do about it? And because of that, it's helped me with my Herbalife business. Okay. Guys, once you start building a bigger business and things go big, you're going to deal with lots of stuff. And you need strength with your distributors, and you cannot take excuses. You can't. You can sympathize. You should. You don't want to be rude and mean, but you got to be strong. Okay. And this is what I've learned from him. And I'm eternally grateful. And to this day, I still learn it from him. It's phenomenal. And we've just had so much fun together doing the business. I mean, it's crazy. We have a lot of fun. He's dad and father, but he's also like my best friend, which is phenomenal. I mean, that's such a blessing. So many lessons that I've learned through life and business and continuing to learn. We talk anywhere from 1 to 4 times a day. I mean, it's phenomenal. And honestly, that would not happen if it wasn't for Herbalife. If we didn't have Herbalife, we probably wouldn't. It's just because, people get older in life and all that. And that's the great thing about our business is that it can bring friends and family and people together. Okay. Then Michael O. Johnson, where much is given, much is expected. He's said this phrase a lot. And I've heard him say this a lot. And this hit home for me because I was blessed in my life. And so I feel like much is expected. Much is expected from me. And I like that. And it should be. And guys, much is expected from all of you guys on the line. Anyone who's in our business, there is much is expected because we have the opportunity to transform people's lives, especially with this WeDo system. We have the ability to help people lose weight, gain muscle, gain energy, build a business. So there is much that's expected from us in Herbalife. And then one great story I love about this is that this was at the Indy 500 when Herbalife had a car in the pit. And I remember my dad said, "Hey, you want to come with me?" I said, "Well, of course I do. Let's go." And we're standing in pit row, Indy 500. And I see my dad just looking down, staring at this Herbalife 24 branded car. And I go up to him. I go, "Dad, what goes through your mind when you started with this company? Herbalife was in Los Angeles. That's basically it. In this little wig factory. Everybody told you were nuts. Everybody said this is not good. Like, what are you doing? Now you're standing at Indy 500 pit row with a branded Herbalife car." And just like in John Tartle dad fashion, he looked up and he said to me, "I don't know, JD. I used the product. I wore the button and I talked to a lot of people. And here we are. But at the end of the day, he's right. I mean, that's what we do. That's what we do. Like all these systems and trainings and everything aside, guys, when it boils down to it, that's what we do. And the great thing about the WeDo transformation thing is it makes it easy. Is it makes it easy, you know? So this portion in my life is this was interesting. So, because of the situation, I find myself, okay, single dad, 6-month-old baby. Okay, well, that means you still have to work. So I brought Ava with me. It wasn't an excuse. I was like, all right, well, we gotta go do a booth, strapped her to my chest, and I did it. All right, we got to go drop off tea, strapped her to my chest and did it. Okay, we got to go do a healthy, active lifestyle hike, throw her on my back and go do it. Oh, we got to be in the club. All right, well, no problem. It wasn't the why not, it was the why. And at this time in my life, guys, it was very challenging. I mean, she was gone for a month. It was crazy. But what I did is I made it the why. I did not sit in the old poor miserable me. No, I took the strength from my father and all the lessons I learned, and I said, no, we're going to keep going. And at that time, we were building out a whole new space too, and going through legal whatnots with courts and children. And it's very hard, but we still had work to do. We still had work to do. It did not matter. We still had to do it, and we did it. Okay. Then we made a decision to move. My ex-wife and I said we should go to Dallas, Texas. It'll be better for our daughter. And Herbalife, fortunately, allows that. Okay, which was great. I didn't have to ask permission. I didn't have to seek, you know, uh, hey, boss, can I please move for my daughter? It's like, no, it was the right choice for my kid. It was a very hard choice to make because I was leaving behind brand new business and a whole machine, but it was the right choice. And that's where my Aunt Mary Holloway, my cousin Jake Holloway, and Kevin Holloway played a major role for me. Okay. They played a huge role in helping me just get my mind back and get things going. And then I love my Aunt Nancy and my Uncle Jim there. Uncle Jim taught me how to do business to business way back in my Herbalife business. He taught me how to walk into a business and start conversations. Best skill I've ever learned in terms of prospecting. I'd still do it to this day. You know, walk into a local gym. Hey, is the manager there? Wait for the manager to come. Hey, manager, my name is John Tartle. I'm a local wellness coach. We have this amazing online system called WeDo Transformations. I'd love to sit down and show it with you, show you how you can leverage this to bring more income into the gym. When's a good time to talk? Uncle Jim taught me that. Or just walking into a big Walmart. Hey, is the manager there? Manager comes. Hey, manager, my name's John Tartle. I'm a local wellness coach. We have this great online challenge. I'd love to show it to you so we can help your employees get healthy. Because you know why? Healthy employees, they take less sick days and they generally work harder. Can I show you my challenge and maybe we can invite the employees? Man, what if one of these managers said yes, and I can invite like 40 employees to the We Do challenge? Pretty phenomenal. But he taught me that skill. But I'm so thankful for that. Then my brother, okay, world team member, active 5K supervisor, Justin Tartle. Without this guy, of course, I could have moved from Montana to Dallas, but everything that I did in Montana would have fell apart if it wasn't for him. And the crazy thing is that he moved up there and he was working, but I've seen his leadership and his skills grow and grow and grow because I was doing with him tell, show, try, do. And meaning I was showing up, I was working 12-hour shifts, I was doing and he watched me do it. At the time, he wasn't doing that, but now he is doing that. And at a time, we opened up a brand new club right before I moved. And there was a time I wanted to close the club because I didn't know what to do. And that's where the strength of my father came in and said, you figure it out. And we kind of did and things. And then my brother, he took a leadership role. He called me up and he said, hey, I think I can run both. And I said, that's a big, he goes, no, I can do it. And now that he does, the business is growing month after month, year after year through his leadership. Okay. But he also learned all that by being around the Herbalife community and all that. But just like me, he had to find out for himself. He had to become an independent distributor, in which he is now. And he's growing and he's starting to grow an organization now. It's exciting. He's starting to network with local businesses. He's starting to do the networking deal, which is phenomenal. Now living in Dallas, and this is where I want to start to tie the WeDo transformations in and how I see it. Okay. Is in Dallas, I'm back in a big market because when I was living in Montana for almost 4 or 5 years, it was a small market. Now I'm back in a big market. And what's great about Dallas is I can work with team more directly too. So on the bottom left, I want to tell you guys about Lexi real quick. She's got a nutrition club up in Springfield, Missouri. She does really high volume, but she never built an organization. And she did learn the value now of needing to build an organization. So her and I are working together hand in hand because a lot of our people are giant retailers. Even with the We Do transformation here, a lot of people can do high retail, but we want them building organizations. We want them building organizations. I want my distributors to retail 10, 20,000 of my, yes, getting people into the challenge. But I also want them building an organization so they'll stick around. Building an organization helps people stick around. And I'm going to get into that soon here. And I love these two photos on the bottom right is that I learned that the Montana football team was coming to the state championships in Texas, right in my city. And I was like, oh, I wonder where it's going to be. I wonder where the rally's going to be. And I go back home to my apartment and I look out the front window and the rally is in the baseball stadium across the street from me. So I put Ava's little Montana thing on and we go there and I randomly bump into team members and all this stuff. And it was great. It was just a great little moment. Then this guy, 20K, three diamond presidency member, Keegan Servin came into my life more. Okay. I've always known Keegan from Herbalife. Him and I, he's a similar story to me. Okay. Grew up in Herbalife, father chairman's club member, all this stuff. And we've always been, hey, Keegan, but once I moved to Dallas here, the Herbalife connection brought us together and then a friendship developed. And one thing that Keegan helped me do was get a bigger discipline back, help me flex the discipline muscle that I needed. And I did that through fitness. I did it through fitness. And again, this is going to start to tie into WeDo. Okay. Then my mom, Chairman's Club member, Lori Tartle, 30K. Okay. She's really come into play with me too here now. She also taught me strength in a nice way. I got a very nice mother, but she's a very strong mother. She taught me some of the best lessons in Herbalife that I've ever learned. How to listen for cues, listen to hot buttons, all these little things. Listen to the conversations around you. Oh man, I'm feeling tired. Boom, let's talk to them about Herbalife. Oh, I feel overweight. Let's talk to them. Oh, I don't like my job. Okay, let's talk to them. All these little cues and buttons that I listen for. And I'm going to show you this. So my before and after photo. I've never been above 185. One day I got above 185. I was like, okay, it's time to cut the fat. And I did. And we're still going. And kind of what that did, and this is crazy, and this happens a lot, guys, in Herbalife. I've seen it happen. Is it kind of made me found a purpose, so to speak, again. And then I started looking up the CDC statistics for obesity because we used to use that in our Herbalife opportunity meetings all the time, these maps. And I haven't seen the map in like 7 years. I didn't see the map. And I looked at the map and it blew me away. You can see the map, okay? The top one and the bottom one, how terrible it is. And I was like, we need to help people lose weight. we need to help people get in shape. Like, what are we doing? We have a golden opportunity with Herbalife, but I needed a container. I needed a way to contain them without a club. And so I was searching for that. And I don't know why WeDo wasn't on my radar right here and then, but I needed a container. I needed a way to do this, but on a large scale. Because I'm in this to support my business all over the world and build new business all over the world. That's what I'm in this game for. Yes, I want to get challengers, I want to do all that, but I needed a way to really build an organization around helping people get healthy. So here, so I go out about a month or about 3 weeks ago. I was out in Poland doing some stuff with some team members. And a lot of the guys, they were asking me about the WeDo app. And I was like, that's right. And these young Polish distributors like, hey, like this is we. I said, yeah, that sounds good. And then it got my gears growing. I go, wait a minute. I go, of course, the WeDo transformation app. Here, I'm gonna stop sharing. I said, of course, the WeDo transformation app. I'm like, why wasn't I thinking about this as a global container for my business? Global container for my business. Then we popped over to France and I went to the Paris kickoff. And I was there talking to a lot of young distributors there, a lot of them into fitness, all these things. And I was talking to some of the French leaders there, and they were poking around with the WeDo transformation, the app. And I was like, okay. So I download the app again. I open it up and I haven't seen the changes you all have made in a long time. And I've seen that when I saw the changes, I was like, oh my gosh. All I got to do is pay 40 bucks and I can put people in this challenge almost all over the world. I was like, I have a container now for the world. I have a container for the world. I have a way to support business around the world on an app. I have a way for my distributors to support business around the world on an app. And it blew me away. And then I saw all the easy things and then the wellness profile coming out. I was like, oh my gosh. And it really hit me because I want business in foreign markets. And we're going to start to do like all these things. And I'm like, okay, but I need a container for the business in the foreign markets. And I was like, well, we have the WeDo app. That's the container. That's the way to jumpstart them. That's the way to get them in. And then we herbalize them. Because for me, the WeDo transformation, it's a tool in my Herbalife business. I still do the clubs, all these other things. Because again, remember, I got to be able to, we got to, as a distributor, I want to be able to teach and train people how to do all the DMOs. But the WeDo transformation is, yes, I see it as a retail opportunity for myself to get retail clients, of course. But I see this thing as building an organization, building an army of distributors around the world, helping people transform their bodies. And again, you guys really need to understand that like you have something here to get business all over the world. Herbalife is in 90 plus countries. 90 plus countries you can get business in. Herbalife Corporate takes care of the local governments, the products, all the annoying stuff. All we got to do is use Where Talk. Then we have the app to be able to get challengers in all these countries, but then to also sign up distributors in these countries and have them download the app. Now, of course, I'm going to send these distributors to the extravaganzas and all the meetings. And yes, and guess what? Some of them, maybe they started with the WeDo app. They're going to continue to do that, but then they're also going to do a few other methods too. But it was the WeDo container that allowed me to capture them, allowed me to get them going to show them the world of Herbalife. I see the app as a way to do that. It's a way for us to capture people all over the country, all over the world, and to start building an Herbalife organization. And that's how I think people should really look at this thing. Now, if you're on the line, you want to earn some extra money, retailing, phenomenal. Okay, I love that. I want an army of distributors like that. But I'm also talking to you guys like you want to build a big business and organization around the world. And that's the way I see the app. And I think it's a great tool for everybody to use, and especially here in the States, guys, people need to lose weight. I mean, you can see my wall over here, like all these stats, like childhood obesity, it's disgusting. 1 in 5 children are obese. That's not okay. And the WeDo transformation, I want to set people's mind up. I say, okay, you need to lose weight. Great. We're doing 3 back-to-back challenges. 3 back-to-back challenges. Okay, 21 days, we're going to see some results, of course, but no, we're committing to 3 back-to-back challenges. Let's go. That's how I want to talk about this thing and use it in the marketplace when I talk about challengers needing to lose weight. Then for the fitness people, it's the same thing. Okay, 3 months. Let's go to get your fitness goals to use the WeDo app. Gym owners, I'm going to go to them. Personal trainers, I know you guys have heard all this stuff before, but it's just how can you leverage this app to help build an international business? Okay. That's the way to think about this WeDo transformations, is that I've been around this deal a long time. I've seen tons of different ways to do Herbalife. And some things come and some things go, and some things come and some things go. But I believe something like this is going to stay. And those who take advantage of it are going to score. They're going to score. And like right now, I've got a guy in Poland who I found on social media that this is going to be the container. This is going to be the container to get them going and then get them herbalized. That's how I'm going to do this thing with the WeDo app. And I look forward to it. And I think it's going to be great. I love the energy of it. Okay. If there's any questions or anything, I know Octavio said to use the Q&A. Okay. So if you guys do have any, ask them there. I'm happy to answer anything from my story or my journey in Herbalife or anything like that. Okay. But I think at the end of the day, guys, our job as Herbalife distributors is to find customers, which the app supports. It's to find distributors, which the app supports. And then it's to teach our distributors how to get customers and to teach our distributors how to get distributors. And the WeDo Transformation app supports all that. It supports it all. It's just how do you use it? How are you thinking about it? How are you training about it? Okay, that's the other thing is how are you training your people how to use this app? Are you only training them to retail through this app? Is that all you're doing? Think about that. Or are you training them that this app is a way to have an organization around the world? So somebody said, what's your proudest moment being in the business? So for me, it's always going to change, but right now it's watching my little brother, watching him grow, you know? Okay. Saying, is just finding distributors and getting income from this? How long does it take? Look, Fabian, I know distributors that have earned money their first day. I know people that it's taken a while. It's just how many people are you talking to? How many people are you getting in the challenge? How many people are you talking to? Somebody asked, when you moved from Montana to Texas, you said you went from a small market to a big market. How are these market different when it comes to utilizing DMOs in your experience? So that's a great question. In a small market, I I believe networking in a smaller town is a little easier because people know each other more. It's more community oriented. In the bigger market, I just have more people to talk with. But I'm also trying to work really localized. So I live in a place called Prosper, Texas. So I'm trying to stay within Prosper and North Frisco to meet as many people as I can because Dallas is so big, I don't want to get lost in the big of it. But then, since I'm in a big market, I see ways of utilizing that through giant office buildings. What can I do in the office building? Can I do a little nutrition club in the morning for the workers and expose them to the challenge? Can I walk in and talk to HR and say, we got this WeDo transformation? So all DMOs are almost the same in the smaller, bigger market. It's just kind of how you approach it. Saying, how does it work? Approach someone to leverage their business through the app with them already being Herbalife users to understand benefits of the product. Um, well, if somebody's not on the product yet, but you want to get them started and we do, you need to paint the money picture. Okay. Lots of people join our business for the money and they stay for the product. They join for the business and they stay for my mom joined for the business. Lori joined for the money. John, my dad, joined for the product. Mary Holloway, she joined for the product, then stayed with the business. Okay. So paint the income picture, learn income stories, share it with them, show them the app, and then the product is what supports. How do you respond when someone says they want to do the online coaching without becoming and signing up being an Herbalife? I say, that's great for you, but that's not my business, and go find a new person. What's a tip you would give someone that's insecure to talk to people? That's a great one. So, prospecting is something we need to do all the time, all the time. Okay. And that's one of the most important things that we need to do. This is what you got to do is start with just saying hello to random people on the streets. Just hi. Or if you're checking out and you're paying for groceries, I like your hair. Just these little things, and then you'll graduate. You'll graduate to being able to talk to people more. Hey, I like your shoes. What kind of shoes are they? Then you'll graduate on how to ask a question. And then eventually you'll graduate into Herbalife pitching. Now, you might have to spend a full week just complimenting people's hair. And then after you compliment their hair for a week, you'll spend the next week asking, what kind of hair product do you use? Then maybe after a week or a month, you'll then translate it into Herbalife. And look, guys, if you're part-time, 3 to 5 people a day. If you're full-time, 10 people a day. Now, look, if you've only been talking to 1 to 2 a day, don't expect to go out and just talk to 10. Okay. You want to be consistent. Start with 3. Then once you've done 3 a day for a week, move to 5. Then move to 7. Then you move to 10. You graduate on a consistent basis on how to do it. Okay. I remember I'm about to wrap up here because we're almost at time, but I got a funny story. So we were in Poland. I always do stupid things to flex my talking to people muscle. Like, I don't care. So we were in Poland and I was dressed up in like 1800s, like royal stuff because we were at a party for an opera house. And some distributors picked me up at the hotel and we walked to the event. And I invented like this like bow that I would do. I would like do this like royal bow in my outfit to all these random people on the street and in the hotel. And everyone would laugh and it would create conversation. Like, oh, what are you doing? What are you? And then I would do it in the street. Like we would walk across the street. I'd start bowing to the cars. People in the cars would laugh. And the distributors looked at me. They go, what are you doing? I said, well, I mean, part of my job as an Herbalife distributor is to connect and talk to people. So I'm just practicing. I'm practicing how to engage with people. And right now it's doing my stupid little fun bow in my ridiculous outfit because I'm flexing that muscle on how to engage and how to create conversation. Because, I don't know about you guys, but I like in-person business better. I like in-person interaction. Online's great. Social media is not going anywhere. That's a given. But I like the in-person stuff. Okay. Can people with paper start business undocumented? Well, I'm not gonna answer that one. All I know is anyone can sign up as an Herbalife distributor. They don't really ask many questions. So after you sign up the challenge, how do you involve the products? It's in the app, guys. Okay, everyone who becomes a challenger needs to get a volume points worth of products Okay, all that's in the app. Be an independent distributor. Go find the information. Okay, we got about one more minute and then we're going to be at the hour here. Like, guys, you got to have fun. You got to have fun in the business. You got to utilize the app. You got to think on a global scale how to utilize the app. First, think how to use it in your city. How do you use it in your state? How do you use it in the country? Then how can you use it on a global scale? Herbalife is a global business. So let's go out there and affect change on a global scale with a tool that allows us to do business all over the world in a fun environment, in a healthy environment that has so much wealth of information. So thank you. Appreciate you guys all giving me an hour of your life. And I hope to see you guys around the Herbalife world and the WeDo transformation world. Good night. Thank you.